Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Beauty Tarot back at you again with another video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and all the support. And thank you for those of you who've been booking readings with me. It is truly appreciated, okay? So guys, your girl's Patreon channel is up and running. So if you would like to support your girl, you'll be able to find a link in the description box below. I do post 2 exclusive videos per week, so go check it out if you feel called to. Now, before we dive in, if you've been loving the energy here, I have created a collection of spiritual ebooks and printable workbooks to help you along your journey. From manifestation rituals to love journal prompts, these tools are designed to help you align, heal, and rise. You'll be able to find a link in the description box below or on my Patreon channel under the shop tab. So this is going to be a collective reading, so there are no piles, and this reading is going to be about what people secretly assume about you that isn't true. Okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way I like to do this is I like to smudge the cards first before we get started so we don't pick up the energy of previous readings. Okay? So what people secretly assume about you that isn't true. I heard conceited. I'm gonna like people are scared of your power, especially in the workplace. Okay? Especially in the workplace, because I feel like you have power without a title. Like your power comes from within, like your authority comes from within. You have just like a very strong presence to you, but you don't have the title yet. For some of you, you don't have the title yet. Some of you, it's like you have the title, but you are destined for more, and people are intimidated by that. Okay. Some people may assume that you're a hole or a bitch. What people secretly assume about you, we have the 5 of Cups, okay? Some people secretly assume that you're somebody who has gone through heartbreak and deception, and that's the reason why you're closed off. And that's not necessarily true. You may have gone through obstacles and challenges and heartbreak, but that's not the reason why you're closed off per se. Is you're very selective with who you allow in your energy, and these people may have not passed the test. Maybe you feel like they're not trustworthy, so you're not going to allow them in, but they may have assume that is because of like you're sensitive, which could be the case. You could be sensitive, but it doesn't necessarily mean because you're sensitive you just don't let people in. You're just very selective. Okay, so what people secretly assume about you that isn't true, we have the 4 of Wands. Some people, they secretly assume that you had it easy, like you had like things were already given to you with the 4 of Wands, like you come from a stable home, a stable family, that you did not really experience like a life's hardships, so like poverty or anything of that sort. Like people may not they may assume that your background was easy peasy. Like the 5 of Cups is more like emotional, like you've been through heartbreak and breakups with friends or lovers, but they feel like you, when it comes to your family, your home life, they feel like it was already stable. You already had a solid foundation. For some of you, you may come from humble beginnings, but people don't know that. They just assume everything was handed to you. You've created the 4 of Wands. That 4 of Wands energy that they are feeling, that they're sensing that you possess, is something that you've created out of your own merit. It wasn't given to you on a silver platter. Like life wasn't like handed to you. You don't come from wealthy family. Like for some of you, don't come from wealthy family. You come from, like I said, humble beginnings. So it wasn't handed to you like that. You've created that stability for yourself. Ooh, we have the devil, okay? Capricorn energy. So what I'm getting here with the devil, what people secretly assume about you is that I heard you're ruthless. This is what they secretly assume about you, but that's not true, okay? You're not ruthless, okay? You have structure, you're disciplined, you have determination. You're somebody who has strong work ethics, okay? Because Capricorns are the CEO of the zodiac. So you have amazing work ethics, amazing like I don't know, business, you're business savvy because, like I said, Capricorn is the CEO of the zodiac. So some of you could have like like very nice Capricorn placements where you have authority, like maybe in your 10th house, which is a really good placement because this is Capricorn's house, right? So I feel like you have a really good Capricorn placement or 10th house placement that allows you to be like innovative in a way. I'm gonna like maybe even Sagittarius, not ooh, definitely Sagittarius, but I'm gonna like Aquarius because we are in Aquarius season. So maybe you have a nice Aquarius placement, maybe in your 10th house, you're innovative, you're driven, you have amazing work ethics. And but some people may think that you're ruthless because like I feel like the way that you operate is like no nonsense, okay? Like no, like you don't have time for BS, okay? Like people's like little games and stuff like that, like immaturity, you don't have time for that. I'm getting with the devil energy. And some people may think that you're ruthless, okay? What people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the magician. Wow, the magician and the devil. This is like magic, okay? Spell work. These two together, this is definitely spell work. So some people may assume that you do spell work, which like if you do spell work, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just really how you use that. Like if you're using spell work to hurt other people, then that's baneful magic, right? So it's malefic. Like it's not, you don't want to be doing that. So but this is what some people may assume about you. Maybe they're scared. I feel like it could be like cultural, like maybe because you're from a specific background, then they assume because of your background you do baneful magic. I'll give you an example. So for Haitians, like automatically when people hear Haitians, they automatically think voodoo. But when they think voodoo, they don't think voodoo as in terms of like healing, right? Because voodoo you could heal with that. It's like a way of living. They automatically assume devil worshipping, baneful magic, which is not the case. Voodoo is a religion. So if you use voodoo to hurt somebody, there's consequences. It doesn't work like that. But people that are not well versed in the religion will automatically assume negativity. So I'm getting like something like that with the devil and the magician, okay? So it could be like anything of like where it's like a negative connotation because of your cultural background. This is what I'm getting here with the magician and the devil, okay? So what people secretly assume about you that isn't true. What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? What do people secretly? We have the Seven of Wands. Okay. Okay. Some people assume that you're combative or feisty with the Seven of Wands because you have strong boundaries. Okay. They associate your boundaries with like an offense. Your boundaries an offense. Like they feel like it's wrong. Like you shouldn't have boundaries. Like they should be allowed to talk to you crazy. They should be allowed to treat you however because they feel like it. And it's like your boundary is being seen as something offensive. Okay. So what do people secretly assume about you? We have the Ten of Cups. Yeah, they definitely assume that you have it easy peasy. Like your life is perfect. There is no like you don't experience any obstacles or challenges, okay? So what do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the Three of Wands. I'm getting like some people assume that you're flighty with the Three of Wands because you're always on the go. You always like you're always on to the next. Like you never stop growing. You never stop like moving forward in life. You always have goals. You always have something that you're working towards. So some people, because they don't have goals, they don't have like, anything going on for themselves, they assume that you're flighty, that you can't sit still, like you can't just do one thing and do it well, when in actuality you're multi-talented here with the magician. Like they just assume that you could do, like you're supposed to be one dimensional like them, okay? Plain Jane. Okay, so what people secretly, this is what I heard, guys. So you see they're mad. They're pissed. Ooh, whoever this is, like whoever this energy is, they're not happy. What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? What do people secretly assume? We have the Three of Pentacles. Something about your reputation. They assume that your reputation is fabricated with the Three of Pentacles. Like the reason why you have this reputation is because you're well connected, well known, okay? Because the Three of Pentacles could represent collaboration, but it's not true. It's through your own merits, okay? Like the Three of Pentacles is really like you working diligently, establishing yourself in your career, establishing yourself in your community, and you worked your way to the top. You did not take shortcuts, okay? What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? Yeah, we have the King of Pentacles. I heard arrogant energy. Some people assume that you're arrogant because you are wealthy or well established. I keep getting like well established in some way, shape, or form, okay? With the King of Pentacles, but they may think that you're arrogant, but it's just not true. You have principle, you have like I said, work ethics that you abide by, and you have a set of standard. Your standards are really high. Some people, they assume that you are bougie or a snob. What do people typically assume? Yeah, we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. So you see earth signs, earth energy, very grounded, okay? Some people secretly assume that you're antisocial with the Hermit card. Like you like to keep to yourself. You may not be somebody who likes to socialize too much or go out to socialize with people. You may be somebody who is more um like, because the Hermit card could represent a recluse, like somebody who likes to be by themselves, somebody who's introverted. So you could definitely be introverted here, but the way that your introversion is being received, it's like they feel like it's negative, because I feel like the way that you look as well, you could be very attractive. So people feel like, okay, well, I'm attracted to you, so I'm entitled to your time and your energy. And it's like, okay, well, no, that's not how life works. Okay, like just because you find someone attractive does not mean you're entitled to their time. Okay, they're not an object that you could just purchase. What people secretly assume about you that isn't true. We have the Chariot. Yeah, that you're always on the go. Some people may secretly assume that you're money hungry because you're always on the go, you're always on to the next, like you're very focused. Some of them, they may assume that you're rigid, but you're not, okay? When you're laser focused, you don't have time for distractions. Okay, so what do people secretly assume? Yeah, Four of Cups, that you're boring, because what you consider fun is what they consider boring. So maybe for you, fun is like a walk in the park, going to the museum, okay? It's more, I feel like what you consider fun for you is more intellectual, more artistic, okay? So maybe you like to go pick, like maybe you like painting, go skating, ice skating, rollerblading, things that do not require you to be intoxicated to consider fun. So those people may be people that, like, for them fun is like getting drunk and smoking all day, all week, without anything else going on, okay? Like, you may be like, if you're gonna have a drink, it's because you're celebrating something, you're celebrating a milestone, you're celebrating achievement, which is fine, right? Like, if you're going to a wedding and then there's alcohol, you're gonna drink. Like, not everybody's going to drink, but like, you're most likely to want to drink because you're celebrating something, right? But you're not going to just drink just to drink. You're not going to do that. And some people may consider you boring, but you're not. You're just very methodical, and like, you have standards for yourself, a way of living that you abide by, okay? What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the Nine of Wands. Some people assume that you have a big ego. Like, they assume that you're definitely combative. We have the Eight of Swords. You make people nervous with the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Swords, sorry. You make people nervous. What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? Ooh, Five of Swords, that you're bitch, that you like to, like, you gonna have the last word, or you're vicious with your words. Like, people are just, some people, they could be like automatically scared of you or frightened by your energy, your essence, because you have a powerful presence to you. So they may assume that you like to argue, or you're going to argue, or you're going to, you know, cut them down. But in actuality, you just don't have time for nonsense. Okay, you don't even have time to engage if it's not productive. Like, if the conversation, the situation is not productive, it's not going to bring you anything, it's not going to help you level up, you're not going to engage. Okay, so what people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the World card. Some people, what they secretly assume about you is that You've accomplished a lot of things that came to you easily. There's something about you having ease. Like it wasn't a challenging or difficult road for you. Your life was too easy. That's what they assume because you make it look easy. Yeah, we have the hangman. Yeah, there's something about you seeing things from a different perspective. Some people they assume that you're somebody who's rigid in your approach when in actuality you don't make impulsive decisions with the hangman. Okay, you take a break, you take temporary pauses. Some people may think that you're rigid. They assume that you're rigid because you're not quick to make decisions, you're not quick to take action. You like to pause, to think, to assess, whether to gauge whether or not this action is going to produce the desired result. If it's not going to do that, you're not going to engage. Some people don't understand that, so they assume that you're just rigid, like you're like the way that you do things, the way that you operate is outdated. Okay. Yeah, we have the high priestess. Something about spirituality. I'm telling you, like I was giving the example of like cultural example. Okay. When I was talking about the Haitians, right? I'm speaking because I know the experience because I'm Haitian myself. So I know like culturally how we are perceived. Okay. So that's why I give that example. So there's something about like you don't have to be Haitian, but I was just giving an example for you guys to understand because that's like real. Like once like Haitians, my Haitians, they know exactly what I'm talking about. The moment that you say you're Haitian, there's already automatically the voodoo connotation is added, and it's not positive, it's negative. Automatically is negative. So it's like something that you may have experienced like that with the high priestess as well. Like it doesn't have to be voodoo. It could be like just your spiritual beliefs. Okay. So what people secretly assume about you that isn't true. What do people secretly assume? Oh, we have the hype. We have the Empress. Beautiful energy. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Like people assume that with the Empress, like I said, didn't I say earlier that you're very attractive? Ooh, there's something I'm getting here with the Empress where with your beauty, people assume certain things about you, like what you do for a living. Okay, I don't need to go into too many details, but like, you know, when you're attractive, people may assume certain things about your looks and what you do with it to get money. That's all I'm gonna say. But with the Empress, this is what people secretly assume about you that isn't true. Okay, like when you're a beautiful woman or a handsome man, people always assume like that you do things with your beauty, right? It could be the case for some people, but I'm getting like for my collective is not the case. Okay, so what do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the King of Cups. I'm getting like because the King of Cups knows how to contain his emotions. He doesn't like share his feelings like that. He's very smart, street smart. So there's something about you where people cannot read you. You're not an open book. So people may secretly assume that you're emotionally unavailable or emotionally immature because you don't really show your emotions, you don't really show your hands like that, but it's like just showing their limited beliefs or the limited understanding about emotional intelligence. Okay, so what do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the Seven of Pentacles. Ooh, yeah, procrastination, because it's going back to the Hangman, right? Temporary pause. You're slow to commit, you're slow to invest, but once you invest for the long haul. Okay, but some people they may assume that you're just like holding back. Okay, what do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? What do people secretly we have the Hangman again. Yeah, something about temporary pauses, like not being impulsive. Okay, what do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? What do people secretly assume about you? We have the Death card. Okay. Mm-mm. There's something about toxicity. I don't know why I'm getting that because usually toxicity, I'm not getting that with the I was gonna say the devil, but the devil's here. There is something about toxicity, but with a death guard, that's what I was referring to. There's something about toxicity here because you may have an intense energy, a tense presence. Maybe you have a piercing stare where you could see right through people, and people may not, they may not really vibe with that, like because they feel exposed in your gaze, like you could see right through them, right? So some people they may assume like evil intent from you because of like how you look, how you stare. You're extremely observant here. What do people secretly assume about you that isn't true? We have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, that you're emotionally unavailable, emotionally distant, okay? Or disinterested, or you're not really engaged. Like maybe in conversation, in certain situation, but you don't engage in things that do not like add value to you, okay? So that's all I have for the collective. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.